and she stated that what she heard was that we voted on at 10 p.m. So I said, look, Katie, I'm not going to argue with you about this. What I understand is that we have to stop by 9 o'clock, and I don't know, I can't respond to what you heard on the tape. So I just don't know if this is going to be something that's going to come up again. I frankly don't remember whether we said 9 or 10 o'clock that night that we voted. But I think, but Dialis, at one point you said it was 10, but then you said you made a mistake and it was really 9. So my question is, do we just let it lie, or should we revisit and make sure that that it was that we voted at 9 I don't know what Katie was listening to.
Well, my recollection is that we voted that the meetings would start at 6. They would end at 9 unless there was extenuating circumstances, and then we would want the meeting to end no later than 10.
Okay.
That's my understanding of what we voted on.
Well,
Can you repeat that? The chair, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that, please? I'm sorry.
The meetings would begin at 6.
Right.
It would end at 9.
Right.
Unless there was extenuating circumstances where a meeting had to continue, we would like for it to be over by 10.
Yeah, but Dell is questioning about the committee meetings, not the general meetings. I mean,
it's all of them.
It's all of them, but we start at 6:30. The committee meetings at 6:30. So I have an idea that we should again discuss it and make clear that the committee meetings, which they start at 6:30, they should also finish at 9. And the same rule is that if whatever is something special or extraordinary, then I mean that the chair of that committee has a right to go till 10 o'clock. Is it? Can I put this as a vote just to clarification?
Well, the thing about it, it says you can start your meeting at 6, but if you want to start it at 6:30, that's up to you, because I know people working, But like I said, we would like the meetings are supposed to end at 9, but if you have to go over past 9, we would like for the meeting to end at 10. So you can still, you can wrap up your meeting by 9, that's fine. But you can start your meeting at 6.
No, I know, but see, are we always going to have some either general public or non-board members or committee members which will question the wording and what was voted on? So I think we should. I think Dell she handled it very greatly with the meeting, how she answered and said, let's have clarification. But I think for clarification purposes, it's important that it's clear that that the committee should have a clear direction from what was voted on, or should we vote again and just get for clarification purposes.
Well, if you want to vote on do another vote just for committee meetings, I think that's appropriate.
Okay, so I make a motion to that we vote as executive board meeting, an executive board, that any committee meetings, if they start either at 6 or 6:30, they must end at 9 p.m. unless the chair of the committee, for as the wording you said, special circumstances, they could extend up till 10. That's all. That's the vote. And I need a second.
I'll definitely second that. Yes, Simon.
Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I agree.
Yes.
Okay.
Agree.
So that's it. The meetings, if there's extenuating circumstances, you'd like the meeting to end at 10. So hopefully that'll be clear to everybody, and we won't have to go through this again. Is there anything else?
Thank you. That's helpful. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome, Dell. Is there anything else?
Alice, do we expect anything to come in between now?
I can't hear you, Phil.
Am I? Yes, I am unmuted. You can't hear me?
I can hear you better now.
Okay. Do we expect anything to come in for an agenda item between now and the February 8th meeting?
Well, something could come in, and then we could, whatever, we can agree that if anything come up, we'll put it on the agenda.
Since the agenda, we have really no items on it, I would think that if something came in, can we do that? You know, do we have to definitely vote as a committee to put the item on, or how does that work?
Well, the thing about it is that's the public session. You know, we still have committee reports and everything.
Yeah, no, I understand all that. We definitely are going to have a meeting. I understand that. I'm just thinking if something comes in at the next week, one day, what do we have to do? Can we just add it as an agenda item, or do we have to vote on something? I don't know what the protocol is.
Well, at this
So,
point, I guess we could have just agreed if any items come in that we just put them on the agenda in the appropriate time slot.
It's okay with me. I make that motion.
Good, yeah. I think that would work. I'll
Yeah,
second that.
that way we wouldn't have to have another meeting. So
Exactly.
who's second? Phil, Dell
Yeah.
and Phil?
Yes.
Everybody agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there
but
anything
it's,
else?
I think it's okay. I just want to make a point, and I agree with what everybody says, but I feel that I don't know why we're meeting. if we agree in advance, I think that's why we have the executive board meetings to discuss the items.
There's a fine line, Simon, because the
Okay.
bylaws say that the executive committee sets the agenda.
But how can you set an agenda without knowing what's on the agenda? That's why we have these meetings. Again, I'm just
That's
again, I'm
correct.
not questioning
That's
the chair.
correct.
Right, I'm not questioning the chair. I'm just questioning the, as you say, the
Procedure.
legality of what was voted on. I mean, how can you vote? How can you vote on something that you don't know? You know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
You can't. There's a fine line.
So, so the question was, if something comes up to vote on, has to be voted on, has to be shown at the committee, at the general, the board meeting, under what, as I say, what legality can it come to the floor without a vote from the executive board?
According to the bylaws, the executive committee has to meet to set the agenda.
So then we'd have to convene again, no?
We're setting the agenda, Simon. We don't have any items, Simon, listen.
Isn't that what we're doing?
That's what we're doing. We're setting the agenda. We don't have any items yet, but we're agreeing that if items come in, they will be put on the agenda. Am I correct?
So we could vote now for the full year that anything comes to the agenda.
Simon, don't go there. Don't go there, Simon. We're talking about one.
No, I'm just questioning. Don't get me wrong. I'm not questioning what we just did. I just want to understand what we voted on. It's very vague. It's open. You know, anybody could put something on the agenda with no. I don't feel anything comes on the agenda. We discuss yes or no. Let's say something comes up.
We only put requests on the agenda unless the committee want to add something. We get requests for people that want to be on the agenda, and those are the items that we look through and we decide whether they're going to be number one, number two. We vote to put those items on the agenda. So what we're saying is, if any requests come in between now and our next board meeting, if there's time before it has to go up on the website, those items will be added to the agenda.
Got it. I don't understand it.
Well, Simon, I don't, now if you want to get technical, I can call another meeting. If somebody's sending the item next week, I can call another meeting for us to vote on putting that item on the agenda.
No, I don't mean that. Let's just scenario. Again, I'm just talking. We're just talking between ourselves. Let's say, an example, an item comes up that needs a 1 hour discussion, right? So we agree now that we want to whatever comes up, anybody's authority to bring it up on the agenda, to bring it up on the meeting. I don't know. That's why we meet in advance to agree what should go on the agenda. It just doesn't automatically up. That's what I look at it this way. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just discussing. So if we agree now, whatever's going to come up means there is no authority. Whatever comes into the office goes up. So I think it's very open-ended. Again, this is just my 2 cents. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just discussing it, and I'm not questioning what we voted on. I'm okay with that. I'm just discussing it, between ourselves.
I understand,
What,
Simon.
that's
I
that's all.
understand. I understand, but I think if anything comes up that we need to question or we need to take it to the executive board, we'll call a meeting and bring it up for discussion.
Fine.
Okay.
It's Phil again. Listen,
Yes, Phil.
most of us have been on this committee. I can't even say how many years. I think this is the first time this ever happened.
First time it
Yeah,
ever
yes,
happened
right.
since I've been on the executive board.
Right. I mean, I don't want something to come into the office and we have nothing on the agenda. We might as well put it on the agenda so we can have it at the meeting rather than it's got to sit a whole month and do nothing. That's the only reason I brought this up. That made sense to me.
Well, that's why we are here to discuss things so we can understand them better. And like you say, this is the first time that we've had this where we didn't have any items for the agenda. But that generally those items are for the public session. But we still have our regular board agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jerry, if you hear me, if something comes up, could you just email? Could we do it that way? Could you just email the committee?
I mean, technically, the executive committee could set the agenda, and it has to be done at a public setting.
Oh, it
But
has to be.
I mean,
Okay.
you will still see public session on the agenda. You will still see liquor licenses on the agenda.
Exactly.
I'm not going to say it hasn't been done in the past, that if John Doe from a respective agency wanted to come and make a 2-minute presentation, that they weren't added just to keep the system rolling along. It hasn't been done. It has been done. It's been done by Vinny Abate. It's been done by Chris Olahovsky. It's been done just for the sake of keeping things rolling.
Well, maybe not.
We are always going to come up with stuff that we haven't had before, and they have to be talked about, and we have to come to an agreement. But this is the first time that we had this come up, and this is the only way I know how to handle it, unless we have another meeting.
I mean, look what's been going on with land use, and Dell could attest to it. I mean, they've just been shoving stuff down our throat. Some of them with 45-day clocks, some of them with 60-day clocks, and unfortunately, Dell's been responding and calling committee public hearings just so we stay within the review period.
I don't know if there's any way we can have a discussion about this with city planning, because I think it's really not fair to anyone really to do this to us. I don't know, but I don't even know where we would have the discussion. Would it be at this committee? Would it be?
Because generally we're bombarded with items, and that's why our meetings was lasting so long.
I know. I mean, it's just not right to come to us and essentially say, gee, too bad it got on the last of the month, so therefore we're coming to you without giving you the proper amount of time, and oh well, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we need to ask city planning to meet with us, whether it's to meet with maybe with the executive board. I don't know.
Well, that could probably happen, like somebody to meet with us and explain the procedure and the timelines, and, so we don't get bombarded with everything at once. I don't know if they have any control over that.
Well, if they do, we can ask them to please have consideration and respect for the the members of the community board, as well as the developers, you know?
Right, to give us time to delve into their issues.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all want to take a vote on that?
Okay, so I make that motion.
You make a motion that we ask somebody some city planning to attend our executive board meeting?
Yes, and discuss the fact, and discuss the way that items have been coming at last minute to the community board and to the land use committee.
Would you want that person to be Alex Summer? He's
That
the
would be great.
Deputy
Alex would be
Director
great.
for Brooklyn.
Yes, Alex would be great.
Okay.
Yeah,
Del, Joe,
second.
for clarification,
Yes.
what are you exactly that they should advise you? How much in advance? What is like how to figure it out? What is the idea that it should give you enough time? What's like?
That we'd have enough time so that the items will be able to come to our regularly scheduled meeting, so they can come to the full board, and then
Right.
as you know, in the normal course of events, come to the full board, have their public hearing, then go to committee, and then back to be voted on by the full board. And it's been coming in such a way that we haven't been able to, we've been having to have the public hearings at the committee level rather than at the full board. And it's not fair either
Right.
for anyone,
So
really.
so the idea would be is that it should be like certified. Any building in Community Board 1, they should certify it 2 weeks or 1 week before the full board meeting, right? That makes sense. So that we have the 60 days, right? That's basically what you're saying.
I don't know. I really can't answer the time.
Maybe I can help a little. Simon, what used to
Yes.
happen is land use items used to be pre-certified. So you'd see
Right.
that they were in the hopper months before the board would even get certified. So you have an idea of the flavor of what's going on. And the committee could even start a dialogue with the applicant if they wanted to ahead of time. Then
Right.
they would get certified. Once the item is certified, the board clock starts 8 days after certification. Unfortunately, the city planning appears to have dropped the ball on pre-certification, and they're using a portal now, and we have to go to this portal to go get the information and to download it. They don't even mail out the applications anymore. We have to print them out ourselves and extract it and circulate it ourselves. And the last, I'd say, year and a half, and even pre COVID, the portal has been severely lacking in the material that city planning puts there. And we'll go to our representative at city planning and say, hey, what's going on? You know, there's projects we know that we hear by word of mouth that they're going to be certified, and they're not certified, and the appearance is just not there. So let's not second guess anything. Alex knows the game, and he knows how it's been played in the past. So we should just ask him to comment on what's going on. Is this a new protocol from city planning? Is this something we have to expect? And how difficult it is to work within the confines of this new protocol, whether they realize it or not. Because he's the first one that we go to when we find out stuff is not there. And sometimes they tell us something's there, and we look, and it's still not there.
So Simon, we just want to meet with our city planning
Right.
to get clarification on their procedures.
Right. Good. Very good.
Is there a second?
Yeah. Aye. Simon.
Simon seconded. Okay, does everybody agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So we'll send a letter to city planning action to come to a meeting. Is there anything else?
Chairman Fuller, this is Ryan Kuhn. I came to ask a question about something.
Yes.
I don't understand what the outreach committee is doing. I'm super confused because I read this last report and I didn't want to bring it up at the full board meeting because at the end of business, it's the end of the night. But to me, I thought the outreach committee was started so that we could outreach and spread the word about the meetings and get words out to the community and like really let people understand how outreach. And so I'm just super confused about what's going on in the outreach committee. And it feels like it's not actually an outreach committee. It feels like it's a members' private discussion group. And I'm just
Well,
concerned because it seems like again, they created a Twitter account to get the word out and then haven't posted anything. None of the things get put. It doesn't feel like there's any outreach being done about what the community board is doing. The last meeting was about liquor, I don't know. It was an economic development meeting, and I know, I guess afterwards it became a joint meeting. But to me, it raises great concerns that the outreach committee isn't actually focusing on outreach. And I was curious if I misunderstood what the outreach committee, because it's ad hoc outreach committee, and I just felt, I don't know, it seemed, I tried to look back and find the discussion of where we discussed when it was created, because I went back and looked through all the emails and saw in December of 20 when the call went out to members of who wants to be on the outreach committee. And I tried to find where the discussions came from and where it was set down, what the committees talk about or what the goal of the committee. And I don't know, to me, it just feels like it's really gone off the rails and the outreach committee isn't actually doing any work on outreach. And I was concerned. And so I brought it here because to me, again, I've been an organizer and I've done many things where we have to do outreach. And it felt like that committee was supposed to sort of help the office and fill in places where the office is overwhelmed because they have so many duties that they couldn't do this sort of outreach and help spread the word. And I don't know, maybe I misunderstand what an outreach committee is, but I was concerned. And so I thought I would come and bring it here to the executive committee.
well, the outreach committee is any issues in the community that they want to bring to any committee or sit down and discuss, to do outreach in the whole community about anything that they need to bring to our attention.
I'm very confused about what our outreach committee does. So the outreach committee is anyone in the community has a problem can bring their problem to the outreach committee instead of the committee that it might be in. I'm really confused about what topic isn't covered by all of our various committees, I guess. Because to me, that whole outreach, when I read over that whole report, I'm like, wow, this is an economic development. It should have been just an economic development committee. Because I guess as a public member, if I was thinking, oh, hey, where would we discuss this? The outreach, I don't know. I guess I'm confused. But I thought the outreach committee was about telling people, doing outreach about the community board so that more people would attend meetings, more people would know what was happening, posting the minutes so people can see what was talked about at meetings, making sure the email list went out, making sure it was organized, getting Twitter and social media and things like that.
The outreach committee wasn't formed to help the office do their work.
That's not what I was saying. I'm saying, I don't know. Again, maybe then it needs a different name because I feel like it's very outreach is out. I don't know. Again, I guess.
Well, they met with the economic committee because they wanted to bring things in the community, in the district, to their attention, and they want to see what items they could work on. So Santo is here. Santo, you want to talk more about this issue? We can't hear you.
Oh, hello, everybody. Can I hear what the question was from the beginning?
I'm confused about what the outreach committee does or how it's defined or what it is. Because to me, any outreach committee I've been on is doing outreach, is spreading the word. So for me, it's making sure that people hear about notices, understand what doing outreach about the community board. I'm confused about what.
Absolutely. I believe I can answer. I believe I try to answer many at the time. And I believe also any report that we made, it made some very peculiar statement. And of course, the office may not have all the ability because I don't think they are provided by the borough president either to say, okay, we do outreach. And I understand it's a new committee. So outreach is always in mind, you know, with the limitation that we have. We can definitely make a lot of proposition for the office to be able to do a lot of things. In the meantime, with always in mind outreach, we always stated that having meeting and talking about community issue, especially in light of the fact that community board doesn't have a lot of time. I don't know, I'm part of other committee like you all are. Land use, we go through application. We have just time to evaluate application and make voting. And general meeting, they last an hour and a half, and there is no time, you have 1 minute. We always thought that bringing conversation on topics, on issue, it was a first form of outreach, giving the opportunity to the community and becoming also a platform for potential forum for topics which are very time sensitive. I believe economic development has been one, but not just as economic development. The fact that we've been talking for a very long time, loss of retail diversity, what can we do? But nobody ever talks. So we have an SLA review committee, for example, that is just going there and go through all the license. I mean, that's not really what we should do. To say, okay, approved and voted, and then we have like 65 license and 120 postponement every meeting. So we're talking about what can we do at the source of something, and it's not an outreach, but it's a form of outreach. And there were members of the community. We were last meeting, we were able to put together and having a certain presence. I mean, certain people invited came from the North Brooklyn Chambers to Council Member Ressler, to Council Member Levin. Did other committee did things like that? So this is a form of outreach. And next time we're gonna have even more people from the community to come. Is really, he want to open a forum for conversation. And I don't think the other committee are doing right now. They can't do that. So yeah, that's
I guess maybe my suggestion then is that a better description should be written on the website about what the outreach committee does, so that a person who's their first time looking at it understands that that is a place where they would take a new idea or something. Because to me, again, I'm just saying, to me, it seems very confusing about it. And again, I'm speaking from a person who's like, again, I've been on the community board for how many years, I've been attending meetings. I'm just trying to, like, if the goal is to get more people in the community to participate and more ideas up, I feel like that the outreach committee needs to have a better explainer on the website so people know that's where they go.
Absolutely, I agree with you, and I believe there being conversation, which outreach, and I said that again. The first form of outreach are our meetings, place where you can talk about, place where a community board member come and you can come to. You've been to my meeting. I mean, there is somebody that tell you how much you can talk. You can talk. You know, you can come and we have conversation. So that platform, I don't think exists because for technical reason, there is no time when you have to perform in doing the job as an agency that you have a function like land use, parks. You know, in my committee, always from its inception, this was the idea. And yes, I agree with you in the classical sense outreach, but in my vision as a chair, it's a platform. And when we talk, we do a first form outreach. I agree with you also that I've been asking actually to add an added feature, which is community issues. So which is something where become also an added platform for conversation. And we'll do both. And hopefully with all the political changes, this is a very big historical time, we may be able to ask to give the office even more resource to implement all those things that we are missing. You know, and also when we propose things, how to manage other platform, of course, it becomes a job to do. The entire board had question about, oh, who is going to manage a Twitter account? Who is going to manage that? And we had somebody volunteer to do, but then stop doing. And you know, and becomes so. If somebody at the office has the time to do their jobs and to those are big. Yes, I agree with you. So there is still a lot of work to do, but I don't think the outreach committee want to have exclusively that, want to be a platform for conversation, a place where a forum could happen. It could be beneficial to the board, could be beneficial to other committee, could be beneficial to the community. That's all. If we are against that, I don't know why we should, you know?
No, I think I will say I think it's a great idea because many a time you see a person that comes to the big meeting, they have 2 minutes to speak, and they're bringing an issue that really they should have brought to someone. And this committee would be a great first step for someone that is like, wow, I have this issue. I don't know if there's a history behind it. I don't know if people have tried. Like, it's a great place for someone to go. I just don't think our how we represent it on the website reflects that at all. So people
Thank
don't
you. Thank
know.
you. Ryan, we don't know each other. What I learned sometimes, I've been in opposition. I believe you have been in opposition somehow. There are people that, fail to be in opposition. So I believe somebody like you can only welcome this idea, and hopefully this is an encouragement to add to the community that extra feature that can allow us to become the community platform. We don't have much time to talk, right? A place where we don't have to fight and we don't have to have the same idea, but we need to confront the idea. Even if a committee becomes a mono directional of things, is not beneficial for the community. You know what I mean? And I would never want that. I want people to have different idea, and then we confront it, we analyze it objectively. That's what I can say. And then I talk always too much, and please, maybe I should stop now. Otherwise, I'm going to stand the time.
This definitely cleared up my confusion, and I think it's just named wrong, and it's like explained poorly, and that your vision is a great idea. It just needs to be like done so that people know that's where they go to do that.
Look, and to be direct with you and not to have secret, I have asked to add an added feature to the committee, to add the outreach with the community issue. And so I had conversation, but I know my decision, and Chairperson Fuller know. And that's why she has been supportive of this idea, because of the very good intention that the committee would have. And we prove it with economic development. The joint meeting was an unprecedented meeting. We never had the North Brooklyn Chamber, Elaine Brodsky, and everybody coming to the table and recognizing something. This is not and it's unfair also to community. I've been particularly involved with coalition and to go against even the liquor license, all the business. We should be analytically analyze what the issue is, because when you have 100, you can only create confrontation. And maybe we should question, why do we have 100 and not 50 out as we are supposed to have? Why, and it's unfair. It's unfair to the community. It's unfair to SLA review committee. It's unfair, but this is spread to anything. It's unfair that if you want to open a different business, you have to spend $15,000 a month. So, we have an unsustainable things. And I believe I did research. I discovered City Council, in regard to what you're saying, John, I discovered the City Council did a study, 72 pages, there were documentation. Nobody did anything, small business services didn't, why? It's unfair that Tom Barrows and all, you are part of the community. And even me, as a community member, I come there, since I'm a NIMBY sayer. Nobody's in NIMBY, nobody should be in this position. What is the general policy? But this is a model, or it could be something environmental. I brought out an issue, vertical forest, and we don't know why that happened. Look, I'm new to all of this. I come from a private sector for a creative, artistic, independent background. I'm an immigrant. I'm a naturalized American. I didn't even know what community board was. Okay. And it's taking a lot of time on my personal time. I'm a very busy man, and I'm here, So, and I can walk out of all of this and probably have a more relaxing life. But I'm committed to my community. I feel I'm part of a community, and me walking out of all of this without trying to be proactive. I believe we should be proactive, so we don't have an SLA review committee with a 200 license every month. Can we? Maybe we'll never be able, but we need to be proactive and relook at things why they are. Why we don't have retail diversity, why we don't have greener building, because we ignorantly approach that, and maybe there are things that need to be changed, And I was
Okay.
talking about a topic, vertical forest. I spoke, people didn't understand. You know, I believe a member of the community, they contacted me, they told me, oh, but you made a recommendation. People from the neighboring Greenpoint at 79 Queen Street, I believe the recommendation was kind of altered in ways that it didn't reflect. Vertical forest is a specific thing. I called the office, I called Dale in the past. It's a specific word. You know, bread, you can define as bread. If you call it butter, it's a different product, you know? So, you know, are we gonna wanna make change, or we wanna just say ignorantly, oh, greener building? What does it mean? It means nothing. It means they can still build, they can do all the things you do, and you have not really brought in something very productive for the community. And, you know, and I tried to communicate. Unfortunately, I talk too much, but I am knowledgeable about certain things, and I want to leave a trace that is can become something tangible for the community.
Thank
That's
you,
all.
Santo.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
I
Santo.
apologize for my always taking longer time.
No
Maria,
problem.
please,
No
especially
problem.
I know.
No problem. I thank you for
Please.
reaching out and wanting to chair this committee and try to bring things in the district to the forefront, because it's a good
I'm
way to
glad
bring
this-
things to the forefront. Yeah.
And I'm glad this conversation.
I do like what you have to say. I really, I do. I like your proactive approach. And I did like the committee meeting and what you spoke about, and especially supporting retail businesses, being very involved.
Yeah, so like I said, thank you, you know, for bringing things to the forefront, you know, and wanting to do this. It's innovative, and we have the opportunity to shed light on things in the district that we never shed light on before. So, Ryan, does that clarify?
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I think now knowing, yes, it does. Thank you. I don't want to, yes, it does.
Okay, thank you.
And one thing, Ryan, I challenge anybody. I don't belong to any organization. I don't belong to. I have no conflict of interest, and accept the conflict that my neighbor may say. Oh, what you know. I do everything because I try to be analytic and objective. I don't belong to anything than being a resident and an immigrant. And I'm discriminated many times because of my accent, because it takes me 10 times longer to express a concept, but I'm educated, and I gonna want to leave a trace. Help me, Ryan, you know what I mean? Help me in a productive way, you know, and let's help each other. And let's add the community issue to our committee so we can become, exactly, thank you, Ryan, because you actually completing a request. You are supporting a request was to add the community issue feature to our committee denomination, so we can betterly empower to do the work I love to do. But thank you, everybody. I have to go back to my cooking. I wasn't planning to have a committee board meeting tonight. But thank you, everybody. See you again.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, Santa. Thank you very much. Okay, that's it, Brian.
It,
Okay. Is there anything else? Well, you know, the governor has granted us permission to stay virtual. So I guess we should vote whether we want to stay virtual or, you know, but it's legislation. So just for, you know, auditing purposes, I guess the executive board need to vote to remain virtual.
Do we have to vote on an executive order?
Not really, but I'm just saying because of our auditors and stuff, you know.
By the way, Sonia Iglesias has been trying. I don't know if she managed to finally, her name is popping up, but she can't hear nor speak.
She's popping in and out.
Yeah.
Can she speak now? Apparently not.
I see her twice. I see her in 2 places.
She's trying. She's double trying.
Well, one is she's muted on one, and I guess she was just like me, you know, twice. I don't know why that happened. I must have hit a wrong button.
Muted on both, actually.
Well, on mine, she's muted on one. Do you know what she wanted to say, Maria?
Let me see. Anything you want to say?
No, I said, did you know what she wanted to say?
I'm asking her. She was just having difficulty the entire time.
Yeah, I saw it kept going in and out. Okay, so apparently she knows she can't get. So we agree to go virtual until the legislation is lifted. So, we just want to leave it like it is. But I was thinking about in terms of our audit, and stuff because it just-
I would recommend that we stay virtual. I think with the Omicron being so contagious, I think people will be very, worried about meeting in person, and we don't have to put people in that position.
right. So yes. Somebody try to say something. So we agree to stay virtual until the legislation is lifted and the governor comes up with new legislation. Okay, so is there anything else?
Agree.
Is there anything else anybody want to add? Okay, so can I have a motion to adjourn? Okay, good night,
Motion.
everybody. It's good seeing everybody. Stay healthy, stay safe. Peace out, Maria.
You too. Stay safe. Bye, everybody.
Peace out, homie.
Okay, peace out.